No. Hi. Let me do it on my phone. But unmute. Hi. How's everyone? Okay, great. 2020. So I just released my new EP today. It's called How to Fall in Love with the Concept of Forgetting. Super excited. I'm pretty proud of it. It's a conceptual album. It's my third release, third project released this past year. So yeah, I can't wait to sing some songs from it. I'm here. Yeah, I can follow the song. Sounds good. Sure. So this is the first song from the EP. It's called Five Cents. I care for you more than anything else in this. With your hands in my pocket, I can forget about the summer. You tell me that it's okay that I'm leaving conquered. I kissed your face and we sat there so awkward and gray. And then you'd say, I'll give you the world if you let me in. And if you do, we'll figure out which parts don't even fit anymore. Regardless of the ending, we were so good together. Regardless of me sending all our friends who thought better of us. It wasn't up to us. It wasn't up to us. I care for you more than anything else in this. I find myself there most days, so please don't forget about me. I packed my bags and made space in my twin bed for you. You kissed me on your front porch and masked the cigarettes in my perfume. I'll give you the world if you let me in. And if you do, we'll figure out which parts don't even fit anymore. Regardless of the ending, we were so good together. Regardless of me sending all our friends who thought better of us. It wasn't up to us. It wasn't up to us. And I see you tonight dancing in your mom's living room, and I can't help but empathize with us leaving too soon. Now all I think about is you. I can't forget about the summer. All I think about is June. So don't forget about me. I won't forget about you. Please don't forget about me. I won't forget about you. And I'll give you the world if you let me in. And if you do, we'll figure out which parts don't even fit anymore. Regardless of the ending, we were so good together. Regardless of me sending all our friends who thought better. I'll give you the world if you let me in. And if you do, we'll figure out which parts don't even fit anymore. We were so good together. Regardless of me sending all our friends who thought better. It wasn't up to us. It wasn't up to us. Oh. It wasn't up to us. Oh. Oh. It wasn't up to us. It wasn't up to us. Thank you.
That was really cool. You know, it's so funny. One of the things I want to ask you, I always have the basic questions about, the inspiration behind your music. Things that sort of, inspired about your songwriting. Would you like sharing what inspired you about that song?
Sure. So basically, the thesis of the EP, it started out with, just like the note section of my iPhone, and I talk about that a little bit in my overview of the album with an interview with Section 36. I go into detail about that. But basically, it started out with like love letters and just like texts and drafts. And, I pull from conversations, I pull from like dreams, movie characters, I pull from, the list is endless for inspiration with like music and writing and stuff. There's always a story to tell. There's always some inspiration in any situation, So this song, Five Since, is the title basically means it's been 5 years since 2015. I graduated high school in 2015. A lot of traumatic events happened in 2015 for me. So it's just like a personal connection to the 5 years in that memory. It also means that, I've grown up a lot in that sense. But, this song just tells the tale of like, a high school relationship where, in my sense, it's about someone going to college, someone, turning to alcoholism, someone turning to, drugs, mental health, suicidality, all that stuff. So it's not usually the person itself whose fault it is for things ending or, stress and all that stuff. It's more or less about, the trauma. It's more or less about the mental illness or the, heartache, all that stuff. So it's never just like the whole person's fault when things end. It's more or less about, the reasons why, So
Yeah.
that's what it, mm-hmm.
No, yeah. I was going to interrupt you. I was like just agreeing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there I was going to ask, do you want to share any of the stories about the traumas that you've been through, or 'cause I know it's kind of
Sure.
personal. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah,
I love it. It's like, yeah, no problem. Let's go for it.
I guess it depends. I've been through a lot of traumatic events in my life, unfortunately. But it makes me who I am. It makes me grow as a person. Blonder, my first EP is totally about, last summer for me. So it's all about, growing and evolving a lot of stuff. So I love to use music as a way of like, it's a catharsis for me. So I'm able to like channel everything I'm going through into that. But in this sense, I think it's more or less about like family members in my life who've struggled with addiction. And it's about, overcoming that and connecting with that, with their highest self instead of like who they are in the moment of when they're suffering with their addiction and stuff like that. So for me, it's more or less about, finding light in those simple moments, and, capturing that and maintaining those. So yeah.
That's really cool. Just wanted to ask. So, would you mind giving everybody like a rundown about your musical career? Like, when you really started playing, when you figured out, when you first picked up your instrument and figured, you know what, I want to actually make music. I want to do something with it, and sort of, how you inspired or achieved those goals, and how you got to the place you are today.
Sure. Yeah. So I've been writing music my whole life. It's when I was like a child, when I could first learn how to like write and read and all that stuff. I wrote like musicals, and I've always just loved storytelling in any sense. So whether it's like through dance, music, theater, any art form, any type of expression, I'm there for. I love it. It's my it's my, like, creation is like my home. You know what I mean? I love it. I find so much light in it and like freedom and all that stuff. I think I started music. So I started playing guitar when I was 13. I wasn't good at all at it. I'm still not very good, but I started getting better when I was like 18 when I went to college. College didn't work out. It was very traumatic for me. Well, my first college. I'm taking like online classes right now. But when I physically went to college, it was like one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. So what got me through that is like songwriting and music. So through the darkest times, I was able to produce such great content. And, you know, because of those times in my life, I'm not validating the trauma, but or justifying it. I'm saying that because I went through what I went through, I was able to heal in different ways and find parts of myself through music that I wouldn't have found without it, without dealing with the trauma. I was sexually assaulted when I was 18. I've been sexually assaulted a few times in my life, but when I was 18, it was, you know, probably the worst thing that had happened to me. So since then, so, you know, music, I was able to reinvent myself and my life and my identity through it. Um, you know, so then I got into a 4-year relationship. It was very toxic, very abusive. You know, I got out of it a year ago when he cheated on me. That's what Blonder's about. And the chase, and I'll sing those later. But, you know, I was able to heal from that abusive environment where I was so constricted through music. And, you know, one of my only escapes when I was in that relationship was music. And although I wasn't releasing content professionally, I was still writing and documenting. Poetry is a huge part of my life is poetry. I'm able to heal through it. And it's, you know, I think that when I'm performing, it's not for other people too much. It's for me. I'm able to heal in that environment, in that totally safe, free space of just expressionism and, you know, creating. You know, so I created Blonder a year ago, started writing all the songs a year ago. I mean, I released so I started playing shows, that summer also. I started playing a lot local shows in Massachusetts. I've played in New York before too, all across New England. And, you know, I think the most important part of that for me was just reestablishing my identity and my freedom and my creativity. And I think that's the most important part. I released my album 6 months after that in May, end of May. I guess 5 months, math. And that was super important to me. It was called Places Never Sure Return To, which you can stream today. That was really important to me because it was how I healed from my breakup, from that, not even from the breakup, from the trauma, from the 4 years of that experience. And I think oftentimes people will look at, you know, my life and they'll just be like, oh, she went through a breakup, Taylor Swift, etc. But no, you know, there's different traumas and lights and darknesses and all that stuff that were invested in that. And there's so much to it. So, you know, my music can be very dark, it can be very light, but the consistent theme of it is healing and finding your voice and not letting people silence you. I performed, I think my favorite show is probably in Brooklyn, the one that your assistant recorded. It was at Caffeine Underground with my guitarist Cisco, and that was super fun. It was to promote Blonder, but a little bit more of the album at the time. That was in January. And I think my last show was in February of this year. In Massachusetts, in the small town. So, you know, I've missed performing. I did a performance the other day at a farmer's market. It was social distancing, and that was fun. I got to promote this EP a little more before this release party. And yeah, it was a good crowd. It was a good turnout. I'm excited for the future, definitely. That answers the questions.
That's awesome. Totally love that. You know, let's go back to some songs. Would you want to do Blonder or The Chase right now?
I'll definitely do The Chase, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. It's 22, a little too old to have daddy issues. I get that you're fucked up, we all are, dude. But what gives you the right to be a total douche? And it's a tattoo, emo to claim victim. You know it's not the charming, sad white boy aesthetic you're used to. Kinda like you say you smoke weed and drink Mountain Dew while yelling at some 12-year-old on Xbox. Refusing to actually talk to real people in your cum-stained boxes from American Eagle. Gross. And I screenshot every memo, which was And now I am grateful to finally be able to say, oh, you were never worth the chase. I hope she fucks you harder with the acne on your face. Your misogynistic, the racist views, the fancy Hyundai. You never failed to disappoint, like please only stick to pre-roll joints. You could never even pack TBH. Oh, and when your big clouds evaporate, like the people who now tolerate, you hide behind the snapbacks, and you reek purely of acts and privileged opinions, which nobody asked for. Yeah. Most importantly, I think that door he decided to break instead. So watch my Snap story, cause you'll never hear from me again. I know you'll see shortly, maybe before he weighs himself, he weighs his lies while he breaks the scale for the 10,000th time, and he'll jack off to Rick and Morty. So signed accordingly. Thank you for saving me, for we have made it to the end. Yeah, fuck, so we'll still be friends. Yeah. I wish you luck with the STDs or the OCD or just sleeping on the floor. I took the bed frame back cause he never paid for shit. Threw away the mattress. Girl, do enjoy the small dick. I'm so glad someone gets off to it. Thank you, cause I was so fucking sick of faking it. And I hope she likes her gifts, like the IG stories or pro-Trump posts. Tobias Lunchables means you'll get a hot pink sweater from Abercrombie and Fitch. Sign the luckiest bitch from 01742. And fuck your 603. And oh, most importantly, to the second hottest girl in the 10th grade. Thank you. Thank you. It's literally what she looks like. This isn't 22, a little too old to have daddy issues. Thanks.
Oh my god, I totally love that song.
Thank you. One of my favorites
so cool.
for
No, that's great. So let's talk a bit more about your upbringing. You know, we talked about the trauma side of it, but just kind of curious about, you know, how it was for you growing up. Because you born and raised in Boston, Mass, or?
Yep, in a small town outside of that, yeah.
Yeah. No, because I know that we chatted briefly about a post that was on Instagram, I think, during the height of Black Lives Matter stuff, and I wonder if you wanted to talk about any of those issues.
Sure, yeah. So I am mixed. I'm half white, half black. My father's black. He's Ethiopian descent. My mother is Italian. I am more white presenting, but that doesn't exclude from or take away from the history, the trauma, the racism, systematic racism that I've grown up with my entire life, and also, my father's stories, my grandfather's stories, etc. I think it's important. People with privilege, myself being more white presenting, we're able to use our voice and be in the front line if we can. We can, sign petitions, make people more aware, have those difficult conversations with people in your circle. I think that's the most important thing. Vote at the local level, vote in general, but voting at the local level is so important. If you want to get into that, look at Obama's post. He wrote a really great letter, which targets, kids and, youth 18 and up, who really follow Obama. And he was I miss Obama, but, I think it is important, again, to have those difficult conversations with people in your circle, because it starts in your circle. You're not going to change the world by, one post on Facebook. Posting a little black square on your Instagram really doesn't do much. I like the idea of it, but, just doing that and calling it reclamatory is not a thing. Um, you know, I think systematic racism is a huge issue. You know, it's suppressive. It's such an oppressor that we're a lot of people aren't even aware of because of their privilege and because they're brought up in these environments. But I think it's important to educate yourself as well as other people, and continuing to educate yourself, especially people with privilege. And platforms. I love how musicians and like other artists now are using their voice and using their platform. Like Halsey, she's doing an amazing job. She's also mixed, and but more white presenting like myself. But she's using her platform so greatly, so well. She was in the front line, and I get not everyone can be in the front line. Like I have asthma, and my family's high risk, and I live with them right now, so it's difficult for me to go to protests. I did go to a couple in June, but it is hard for me to do that just because of COVID and all that stuff. But mask wearing is really important too. But yeah, I just think the most important thing I want to take away from everything, I want other people to take away, is having those conversations with people in your circle. It starts within your direct, immediate circle, and that's how you can change the world and other things.
Yeah, and that's great. I'm glad. Whoops, sorry. So it's very interesting right now. What I'm going through is, because we switched from PC to the phone. I'm trying to do my tech stuff while I'm trying to also be the host. So if you see me
Sure.
like looking frantic, you know, so
Okay.
I'm, I'm totally getting everything you're talking about right now too. And I wanted to ask you, because of your upbringing and everything, do you have any songs that focus on those issues?
Um, I'm in the works of some songs,
Yeah.
but the main song that I released the in early June is called "My Statement." My statement also deals with has deals with the concept of ending rape culture.
Hmm.
Also, as a woman, a person of color, and also as a woman, I'm put into this category of suppressed, being oppressed by those two things, and other things, obviously. But those are the main two factors that I stand against or stand for: ending racism, doing everything we can to do that, but also ending rape culture and being a strong advocate and feminist and voice in the community. And I like to use my music as a platform. To use your voice to help other people who are going through similar things. So my statement's super important to me. I can play it right now. Because it deals with those themes, and hopefully it starts it starts those conversations with people that are really difficult to have. You know, there's
Yeah.
never a politically correct time to talk about racism or rape culture, but it has to happen. So I think music is a great gateway into those conversations, and art in general.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I feel like a lot of artists, have this medium that was made for those communications. Like, okay, I know this is difficult. Maybe if I write a song about it, you'll listen. And a lot of people
Mhm.
aren't doing that anymore. They're just writing songs just to get that hook, and they're not really connecting with people. So I'm so glad you're doing what you're
Definitely.
doing.
Yeah, I agree. I think, being authentic is my main goal. It's, the most important thing to me. And I think oftentimes when artists or people just try to be original, they try to do things for other people instead of themselves, it produces really unauthentic art, and like it's not genuine. And, most people can like tell what is what, you know what I mean? Like I'm alternative pop. That's my genre. I'm very heavily influenced by pop punk and like alternative and all that stuff. But I don't really like pop music to the extent that I should. I think, or like I think oftentimes it's just very the people behind the music. It's just very like, okay, let's produce like a good hook, like you just said, and like let's just get this out here. Like we'll talk about like money, you know what I mean? And like that's fine. There's room for that. But in my sense, I like to use my platform to tell stories and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That's my contribution to this art form.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and it's great. That's very noble because a lot of people, like you said, they're just like, "Oh yeah, this is a good song, and I should also get like some Spotify hits from this." And it's like,
Yeah. You
what's the
know?
motivation here?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Cool.
So
So I
you want
see
me
you
to play
got
my
your
statement?
guitar in your hand. You ready for another one?
Yeah, so this is called My Statement, what I was talking about. I released it recently as a single. It's about, ending rape culture and also standing up for, women's rights as well as ending racism and systematic racism. So, and this is just my story. Okay. So you can download the song today too. It's out. It's a single. I've tried so many times to fall. What if there's no words at all? I'm trying, but I'm dying inside. My friends are blowing up my phone. I can't answer, I'm here alone. I'm trying, but I'm dying inside. So if nobody hears my voice, who's left to scream? And to those who question, I'm not sorry. So if nobody hears me, nobody knows. Nobody understands. They claim they can, but they fucking don't. They fucking don't. They fucking don't. I'm here alone. I'm here alone. I'm screaming, yelling for a sign. I'm shouting, trying not to cry. I'm trying, but I won't compromise. I'm breaking down inside these walls. I drown these fears in alcohol. I'm trying to stay alive while the pages turn empty. Who's left to scream? And to those who question, I'm not sorry. So if nobody hears me, nobody knows. Nobody understands. They claim they can, but they really don't. They fucking don't. They fucking don't. I'm here alone. I'm here alone. And while they applaud you, they say you have survived. I don't think I have. I think about it all the time. I find myself revisiting that grave. I think of whom, I think of her. I think of how they only know his name. Mother, forgive me. I didn't ask to blame. While staring blankly to compliment your poetry, there was nothing romantic about this story. And to my body, I'm so sorry. So if nobody hears me, nobody knows. Ooh, nobody understands. They claim they can, but they fucking don't. They fucking don't. They fucking don't. I'm here alone. I'm here alone.
Wow.
Thank you.
You know, um, I hate to say it, but you nailed it on that song,
Thank you.
which is very actually upsetting because you shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Um, just to share like story with me, like I've very closely involved with a girlfriend that was raped, and I was actually born from a rape. My mother
Wow.
was raped when she was 14 and
Wow.
had me just a month or so before her 15th birthday. So rape culture is very very high on my list of things we need to take you know addressed in this country or around the world, not even in this country. Especially like rape as a weapon of warfare and stuff like that. It's just this whole
Mm-hmm.
culture of acceptable, you know, like, oh yeah, this is
You
going to
know, it's
happen.
become such a socially acceptable norm that people think they don't even question it. But, you know, it's a conversation, like, you know, as you know, that needs to be had and talked about. Um, yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh no, well, I mean, you share, so I'm sharing back. That's
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
Um, so I needed a few seconds to sort of decompress from that one.
Yeah, of course.
You made it a
It is
bit
a
too
heavy
real.
conversation. It's hard, you know.
No,
That's
this.
why I like art, because it makes people uncomfortable. It makes people question things, makes people have those conversations, like everything we've just talked about again. But, you know, it's so powerful. I love art, music.
Yeah, yeah, I know, it's so crazy. So
Yeah.
let's go back to more happier times.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, I mean, so you know, basically, you know, you got this new EP out. What's your plans? What are you gonna do with it?
With it, so I'm gonna promote it a lot. We're gonna sing some songs, you know, do some more live streams, shows like that, etc. I plan on releasing merch related to it, and also in the future, in a little bit. Details soon to come. I also want to release some physical copies, so you know that'll be exclusively mailed out to people. I also am moving to Nashville in about a year, whenever COVID dies down a little more. You know, to just for the experience and to figure my life out a little more in terms of music and my career and my identity. Really excited for that move too. You know, I want to grow a larger fan base too, and you know, a larger audience. So that's my main goals. Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah, and it's the most important thing is like during this time of COVID, it's pretty hard to do. That's why I was wondering like
Yeah.
what your plans were as far as well. You know, if you're not able to promote it the way you wanted to via touring and such, like what would you do next? You know?
Yeah, I think everything's online these days. You know, everything. You know, that it's so social media marketing is so powerful and important. And I think, you know, COVID has given me, it's, you know, it's awful, but I think COVID, the disease, you know, but I think it's awesome too, because, you know, I'm able to pause from my regular life and just like really focus on myself, my mental health, my music, so I can better myself, and, you know, better the product of my music, you know?
That's really powerful. Yeah, you
Yeah.
know, sadly, right? It takes like a pandemic to make people do that kind of stuff, you know?
I know, capitalism.
I know,
Oh.
it's really crazy. Let's see, how are we doing on time? It's like 3:39. Because definitely want you to do some more songs from the new EP. Because like I
Yeah.
said, you know, I have my my request that I'm going to ask for later on, but I want you to do some
Yeah.
more stuff from the new EP.
Sure. Yeah, this is called Jack and Rose. Hold on. It's called Jack and Rose. It's from the EP. It's the last song. You know, this is about. I pulled this story from the characters in Titanic, Jack and Rose,
Ah,
and you know, through that story, I was able to heal from my breakup from last year, in a different light. So yeah, here we go. We'll discuss it after. I'll follow wherever you go. You'll take lead, I'll take note. We're taking the back roads on a Monday afternoon. I'll tuck you in safer than who. We used to carve our names into the trees. So it was meant to be, or whatever the fuck we used to idolize or read back when. Back when. Back when we used to make love on a twin-size bed frame, it was the best 4 years I'd ever known. So tonight I'll take the back roads home just to see it again. Fuck whoever said that this shit's romantic. Heartbreak, I crave the waves of the Atlantic drifting us away from the shit we watched. Clearly it was I who couldn't swim across to you, to you, to you. Fuck whoever said this shit's romantic. Clearly, who said that's never seen Titanic? You were my Jack, I played Rose. This time you got drunk and I froze up in the middle of trying to catch you. Cause I never wanted to be rescued, my friend. I'll follow wherever you go. Monday afternoon. When words fail, I'll try and switch roles to reframe the pieces they stole. We never wrote the ending. This is one I'll always know. Fuck whoever said that this shit's romantic heartbreak. I crave the waves of the Atlantic drifting us away from the shit we watch. Clearly it was I who couldn't swim across to you, to you, to you. Fuck whoever said this shit's romantic. Clearly, who said that's never seen Titanic? You were my Jack, I played Rose. This time you got drunk and I froze up in the middle of trying to catch you. Cause I never wanted to be rescued, my friend. I can feel the tears of salt water drifting, drifting down my skin. This is the ending, my friend. This is the ending, my friend. This is the ending, my friend. Fuck whoever said that this shit's romantic heartbreak. I crave the waves of the Atlantic drifting us away from the shit we'd watch. Clearly it was I who couldn't swim across to you, to you, to you. Fuck whoever said this shit's romantic. Clearly, who said that's never seen Titanic? You were my Jack, I played Rose. This time you got drunk and I froze up in the middle trying to catch you. Cause I never wanted to be rescued, my friend. Thanks.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
It's so great. It's so fun, like watching you, listening to you right now, because you're giving me like all these creative things. So people that are watching the broadcast right now, they're seeing the screen doing all this stuff while you're
Oh, it's so
singing.
cool. I see it over there. Yeah, it's awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you.
like, oh yeah, her album
I
cover.
can't hear you very well.
Like, oh. One more time. How's that? Is that
There
better?
we go. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, so I was just saying that, your music's giving me like this nice inspirational kind of thing. So I'm trying to change the mood of the broadcast to sort of fit what we're going through right now. And
Great.
it gave
That's
the
good.
theme of your new EP now.
Thank you. That's great.
Oh gosh. So, I always ask people, like, if I'm doing, so I'm sharing with the audience right now some behind the scenes stuff. So I always imagine, like, if you were doing an interview with me, and imagine it was for like Jimmy Fallon or some like big national broadcast, what is there one thing that you would like the world to know about you that nobody's ever asked you about?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think just like um, my intention is just, to be a positive light and voice in the feminist community, as well as ending, we talked about everything, like ending racism and rape culture, and just being a strong advocate for that and using my music as like a tool to carve my way into this industry through helping other people in that way too.
That's great. I mean, we need more people like that. Like I said, a lot of I always struggle with, like, am I being sexist if I say this? But a lot of people, when they use their physicalities, right? Like they use their beauty and whatever to achieve success, but then at the same time they don't use that same level to have those tough conversations about, well, yeah, like I'm trying to think of somebody like a Salma Hayek, for example, right? She's beautiful, Mexican, there's all these movies and whatever. Then, when the hashtag Me Too movement came out, then she, talks about like the issues that she had, in Hollywood with like the Harvey Weinsteins and all
Oh
that kind of
yeah,
stuff. And I was like saying, man, I wish you had come out sooner, because you think about all the people you could have possibly saved. And I get it.
yeah,
It's very hard to do this because
yeah,
we know as being traumatized by rape culture kind of stuff, it's not as easy as like, well, why didn't you say something back then? It's a hard thing to do, but we still just need
definitely.
more people to take that lead and make it happen, So I'm glad that you're
Yeah,
doing everything that you're doing, and being that leader. We need more
yeah.
leaders.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like again, like if I didn't go through what I went through in my life, um, you know, going through these traumatic events that have shaped me into this person, I wouldn't be talking in the same light that I am able to share things in right now. I think especially music. If I didn't have music, I wouldn't be able to heal and talk about things. If I was just teaching or if I was doing something else, I probably wouldn't be having these conversations because I wouldn't have had music to express and like really finalize my thoughts and just like help me verbalize things and express myself and heal.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Heal.
So, I'm going to ask for my request. I don't know if we should ask for it yet or should wait have you do another song first.
Dizzy?
Yeah, that's one of
We
my
can do
favorites.
Dizzy. I haven't played that in a while. What do you
Oh,
think?
good. I just love it. It's like, wow, this is brutal.
One sec. Yeah, this is called #Dizzy. This is about my ex-boyfriend and his girlfriend who he cheated on me with. They were logged into my Instagram account for a few months, and that was just really weird to me. So, I wrote a song about it to help me heal. And, I think the main thing is that they were trying to silence me. And, writing this song, I was able to heal and find my voice and really, not let the trauma or the abuser win in that situation. And I think that's really important. So, and, it's a funny song, but here we go. Instagram story, thanks for the shout out. You talk a lot of shit for a washed out version. Girl, I thought you played your cards kinda well, but like your Android phone, you're cracked, tell your friends. Your two friends, it's #Dizzy. And to all of their DMs, since you can't finish the shit you started in songs previously addressed. I know my tits are the best, but girl, why you so dizzy? And 'cause playing victim causes and started these problems. It was cute but psychotic to claim you're the right one. Now that I love you out, thanks for the clout. Thanks to you, I will never run out of shit to write about. And go get your nails done. You can kiss my ass through his tongue. Since you're clearly obsessed with me, we'll call it #Dizzy, which means that I am pretty much over the thought of a white trash psycho who thrives off Venmo captions about how he jacks off to all of my shit. Though you won't admit it. And while I sell my shows out, I'll make sure to maybe think about while I'm here and I made it, and you're there, just Courtney Griffin. And 'cause playing victim causes and started these problems. It was cute but psychotic to claim you're the right one. Now that I love you out, thanks for the clout. Thanks to you, I will never run out of shit to write about. And #Dizzy, your heart will never be pretty. So #Dizzy, #Dizzy. I think another thing about that song is, I think we talked about this earlier, but main message is like, because of the things I've been through and etc. And it's all human. But I'll never run out of content to write or stories to tell and stuff. And I think that's the basis of this song also. That's why it's important to me.
Yeah, no, it's so great. Such raw. Like I think I told people probably didn't hear this before because my mic wasn't on because I was still doing techie stuff earlier. But I ranked that up in like those songs of like, you know, you're so vain, you ought to know, hashtag Disney, the chase. Like that's the new
Right.
level of, you know, these songs, and it's very it's the I guess I say the mindset of these people that were in your lives at that time. It's really interesting. Like,
Oh
what
my
kind
God,
of
I know.
person?
Last year was crazy. Oh my
Yeah,
God. You know, yeah, crazy.
yeah, but like you've survived. You know, it's the classic
Yeah,
story of you've gone through the fire and made it through, and
definitely. Yeah, so important. That's the main thing. Like you survived everything you've been through, and that's the
yeah,
main thing.
it's
Right?
great. So I'm so sad because we have 8 minutes left. Just wanted to know if you wanted to do something else from your EP.
Sure. Yeah, this is the last song I'll play from the EP. It's called All Mine. It's the second song on the EP. One out of order. That's okay. This is about just like 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, a happy time in my life where, you know, I've fallen in love. I've, you know, been through that. I've been through that classic story of just like falling for someone. Um, and then taking like a summer romance, translating it into the fall when like people start to go away for things like school or, you know, work, etc. Go back to, you know, your normal life and don't have the fairy tale ending anymore status or, you know, it's about moving on from that. And, you know, people will never be fully yours, and that's fine. It's about finding the parts of yourself in that. So here you go. You made those summer nights feel more like a movie. And honestly, I can't stand the idea of you without me. You are the one, yeah, you are such a cutie. And I've fallen for you, it's not love, it's truth. And this isn't the lonely speaking. Said, why do you have to do me like that? You make my awkward look sexy, and I like your laugh. We painted lilacs in the garden of every lost or broken promise. And I told you when we woke up that my heart stuck in last August. Cause now I don't wanna go out, cause I can't really stay out of your arms, of your smell, of your voice, and the boy who makes our crazy seem okay now. And I'll catch you at the same place, that 4 a.m. on Monday. That's alright, you and I, we believe, I can't lie. You make my lonely seem like alright. Now I'm kissing you at red lights, holding my hand like those zip ties, watching my daily mix on Spotify. With the windows down, you're all mine. The waves took my feet, left me head first in gravity. So I zipped up my hoodie and fell skin deep in what's meant to be. I knew from the start you'd bruise my heart. So before it leaves, said, won't you wait another season for me? Somehow I don't wanna go out, cause I can't really stay out of your arms, of your smile, of your voice, and the boy who makes that crazy seem okay now. And I'll catch you at the same place, that 4 a.m. on Monday. That's alright, you and I, if you believe, I can't lie, cause make my lonely seem like alright. Now I'm kissing you at red lights, holding my hand like those zip ties, watching my daily mix on Spotify. With the windows down, you're all mine. And when the tattoos melt off from the autumn, the picture frames will make sure we're not forgotten about. With my hoodie zipped, I traced your lips back to the way you made me think. There's more to life than August or all days. Now it's you I miss. You made those summer nights feel more like a movie. And honestly, I can't stand the idea of you without me. Somehow I don't wanna go out, cause I can't really stay out of your arms, of of your smile, of your voice, to the boy who makes my crazy seem okay now. And I'll catch you at the same place, that 4 a.m. on Monday. That's alright, you and I, people leave, I can't lie, 'cause make my lonely seem like alright. Now I'm kissing you at red lights, holding my hand like those zip ties, blasting my daily mix on Spotify, with the windows down, you're all mine. You were all mine. Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you.
You know, so here's the
Can't
thing.
hear you very well.
Oh, sorry. I keep shutting down because I don't want like the sound of my keyboard or anything coming through. So, like I said,
That's
it's
okay.
tough being the host tech guy.
That's okay.
But I was thinking about you today because I know that we're going to do this live stream and outside my house, like on Park Slope, because we're talking about like things in New York, all the venues being shut down,
Mm,
and restaurants are having a hard time. So what they've done is the cities have allowed restaurants and some bars to use the street to extend
mm,
their possibility for serving people, right?
mm.
And actually, in Park Slope, what they've done is actually closed out the streets so no car traffic comes down there. So you
Oh,
could
smart.
totally, yeah. So it's really interesting. So they do that like every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I was thinking next time, if you know that the forecast is good, you should just come on down here with your guitar. I think it's interesting because I think you could perform non-amplified. You have a pretty powerful
Oh,
voice, sort of like what you did at the farmers market. But you did have a PA then, didn't you? Or like a
yeah,
little,
I have my own stuff. Yeah,
yeah.
cool.
So I say, if you ever wanted to do a road trip, like that,
Definitely, that'd be so fun.
yeah,
I'm down.
definitely come down, do that. Because I've been trying to encourage people, come on, just do it. Because you're gonna have an audience there. People like starving for live music performances, and it'll be like outside, so it'll be like an outdoor concert. you know,
Yeah, do you need a permit or?
I don't. You know what? I really
I
don't
don't know
think
about New
so.
York.
They're not issuing permits, so how can you get one, right?
Very true.
And I've had
Yeah.
some friends recently. They just did something. There's this park in the city called Tompkins Square Park where they had these big riots back in the '80s because the cops were like over enthusiastic about getting people out of the park by a curfew that didn't exist. And then
Mm.
so I think 2 Saturdays ago was like a 30th anniversary of that. So people just showed up and did performances there. I don't know how they did it. I don't know if they got permits, but it was the same thing. It was all acoustic, and they just did it. So totally encourage you to come down.
That'd be so fun. I'm so down. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be
awesome.
kind of fun. But
Yeah.
so try and think. All right, so let's wrap up.
Sure.
Just want you to promote the EP. Let people know where to find it. I have the little titles down here. Close
Yeah.
that
So
way.
you can totally go to my website, monigrace.com. You can also follow me on Instagram at Moni Grace, 2 eyes, Moni with 2 eyes. And Twitter's the same thing. I'm on Spotify, what's it called, iTunes, Apple Music, Title, all that stuff. You also find that easier on my website. So if you want to do that, that'd be awesome. Keep sharing, keep promoting. Thank you so much for watching and having me, James. It was great.
Yeah, and you are always the most interesting person because of the way you have your name spelt different ways. So it is 2 eyes in the handle, right?
Yeah.
But it's only one eye on the website, right?
Yeah. So my everything else is Monty Grace, just like my name spelling. For Instagram and Twitter, it's Monty with 2 eyes, just because I know, just because the username was taken. So
Uh,
yeah.
okay. Okay, so you're so tricky. Wow, so they took Monty Grace Music, one eye?
No, I guess I could do Monty Grace music if that's still available, but I chose Monty with 2 eyes. I did like a
Okay.
year ago.
All
Um,
right. So I just corrected it down here for people to see.
Great, thank you.
All right, cool. All right, so thank you so much for this time
Thank
together,
you.
and I guess we'll just end the broadcast then.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you.
All right,
Bye, James. Thank you.
all right, take it easy. Bye.